President Obama, by the way, this, I think, is a really smart political move. And it looks like he's going to do it. Let me give you some background. The headline is from the New York Times, Obama plans 3 nominations for key court. Let me explain to you what's going on here. Any federal agency, all the federal agencies operate out of Washington, D.C. And so the Environmental Protection Agency, the Department of Labor, the Consumer Protection Safety Bureau, you name it. Right? They're all, the federal agencies all have their official headquarters here in Washington, D.C. And so if you don't like what they're doing and you want to sue them or stop them or get a law or a rule overturned, as Marbury versus Madison gave the court the authority to do, you can sue them in the D.C. District Court. There are 9 district circuit courts of appeal, whatever they call them, around the country. And there's this D.C. district, this kind of anachronistic thing. And if you're going to, you wanted to say something? 11. There's 11 circuits. Thank you. Yeah. Which includes D.C. No. Okay. 11 plus D.C. So 12 altogether. Thank you, Shano. Shano knows these things better than me. And so anyhow, you've got these courts and these federal appeals courts. But if you want to stop the EPA from stopping you from fracking or something like that, you sue them in the D.C. court. No matter where you are in the country, you have the authority to use your local district court, or you can sue them in the D.C. court. So the D.C. court has 11 seats on it, and there were 4 vacancies. There were 7 people on the court. Now there's 8. Srinivasan, close enough, just got unanimously confirmed to the court. So now it's 4 Democratic appointees and 4 Republican appointees, but it used to be 4 Republican appointees and 3 Democratic appointees. And so what's been going on? The game Republicans have been playing for the last couple of years, that there's been this 4 vote majority, seven, these 4 empty seats as well on the district court, is they keep bringing these lawsuits before the district court saying, oh, Obama shouldn't have the power to appoint that, to appoint that Labor Department guy, or the Labor Department shouldn't have the authority to oversee this particular area, or the Environmental Protection Agency shouldn't have the power to say that carbon dioxide is a pollutant, or whatever. There's been a whole series of these things, and those aren't necessarily the right examples or the best examples, but you get what I'm talking about here. Anybody who wants to dispute federal regulation, they bring it to the D.C. court. And the D.C. court is the most partisan, the most politically charged of all the district courts, because it deals with all these federal agencies. And presidents put their people on that court. It's also the most powerful court and the most charged court for that reason. And, 4 members of the current U.S. Supreme Court are graduates, shall we say, of the D.C. Circuit Court. So people step out of the this is the first place presidents go when they've got an opening on the Supreme Court is, okay, who's on the D.C. Circuit Court who might be good? Because that person's already made it through the process of confirmation. That person already lives in Washington, D.C., probably knows a lot of members of Congress, or at least, knows how the system works. They know their way around. It's typically a safer appointment. Because it's hard enough to get on the D.C. court in the first place. But the Republicans, because they have had this majority on this court, have been using that majority to knock down rules and regulations to harass, basically, the Obama administration for 5 years now. And highly politicizing this court. And Obama had, there was another person who was appointed to the court, that he appointed to the court like a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, who sat in limbo for over a year and a half, and just about 3 or 4 months ago withdrew his nomination, or her nomination. It was a woman, wasn't it? I don't recall now. It's like, this is how, how little this is covered. And what the Republicans do, the way that they prevent anybody from getting appointed to this court, is by filibustering the nomination. By saying, you got to have 40 votes. Or you got to have 60 votes, rather. We'll block you with our 40. And it's been an end run around small d democracy. It's been an end run around the administration, around the executive branch. So Obama now comes out and he says, I'm going to put forward 3 nominations for the D.C. court. I'm going to fill that thing up. We just got one guy on now. It's 4-4. I want to put 3 more on. So it'll be, 7-4? Yeah. 7 Democrats on the D.C. circuit. And then they'll start deciding things his way. And the Republicans are already saying, oh, no, you don't. And Obama's going to toss these 3 nominees before the Senate. And if Mitch McConnell says, we're going to filibuster these guys, or these men and women, then Harry Reid is confronted with a really interesting dilemma. He either pulls the nuclear option, which is basically what Obama is forcing him to do, or he just totally wimps out, rolls over. Mitch McConnell, laughs his way all the way to the bank, and possibly to re-election in Kentucky. That race, by the way, is getting interesting. McConnell's in a dead heat with somebody who isn't even a nominee yet on the Democratic side. But this is the president forcing Mitch McConnell and Harry Reid's hand, basically. He's going to put all 3 forward. Here you go. Do it. Damn it, do it. I think this is brilliant. And I'm telling you, keep your eye on this, because this is going to be probably the most interesting and most meaningful political action of this year so far.
You're listening to the Thom Hartmann Program. Call 866-987-THOM.
And most people, because they don't know what the D.C. Circuit does, don't understand how incredibly important this is. You now do.